This is part 2 of my series on basal readers, criticisms, and advantages. First of all, they are very expensive. You have to buy not only the consumable workbook for each child, but there are individual hardcover books. So school district invests a lot of money. Stories? Mush. They are highly edited, the individual stories. So a basal has a series of stories within a unit, and then you take your unit test. They're watered down because they have to try to please everybody and offend nobody, and satisfy adoption committees often, which are statewide adoption committees. It gives the illusion of competence, of being a complete literacy program. You follow the recipe and you will have complete, competent program, and by golly, you'll be teaching literacy. That is the illusion. And it is a little bit disempowering to teachers. We want creative, intelligent teachers, but then we don't want them to be creative or intelligent. That does not make sense. A strict adherence to basals, and some school districts insist that you will follow the basal. Exactly. Takes away choices from teachers. Teaching at every level is an intellectual endeavor. Teaching kindergarten and first grade is by far the hardest grades to teach. I would much rather teach a graduate class. It is much easier. It is disempowering to teachers. They're told what to teach, how to teach, when to teach, as well as to students. They don't get to choose what to read. It's all laid out for them, this smorgasbord of slop that we call stories. And it's profit-based. There's nothing wrong with being profit-based. I'm all for profit. However, we have to realize that they are financially tied to a certain perspective, and basals are financially tied to a certain approach. So they are pushing that which sells their books, and they are saying we are research-based, whether they say it or not, whether there's peer review or not. That is what they say on the outside. I guarantee you, look at a basal teacher's manual, a basal manual, and you will see that we are research-based, whether they are or not. Advantage. They do provide an organized structure for beginning teachers. It gives you a sense of what might go in a literacy lesson. It gives you a sense of that. So, and again, there's nothing wrong with a basal, although I am saying bad things about them. It is how they are used. Basals are as good or as bad as the teacher using them. Number 2, a variety of stories and genre. Students are provided with a lot of different types of stories, some poetry, some fiction, some realistic fiction. It does, in theory, save the teacher time and preparation. If we wanted to, a teacher could just pick up the book and replicate it. It wouldn't be a very good lesson, but theoretically, a teacher could. Those lessons that are straight out of the basal are never very good lessons. It's always better when a teacher adapts, makes creative changes to meet the needs and interests of his or her students. And they are stratified. You get a sense, you can find a level that does not frustrate your readers. They are graded readers. So, common day in a basal world looks something like this. This is traditional. You're in one classroom, 3 homogeneous groups. Students always have a book with them, and there's lots of extra books laying around. You got an hour, you spend 20 minutes with group 1, 20 with 2, 20 with 3. They silent read or practice phonics, and then at 10:15, language arts. That's a typical. I'm just trying to give you a sense of what is day 1. You do pre-reading with each group, maybe some vocabulary, read with a buddy, and then a post-reading activity. Day 2, review and reread the same story, activity related to the story. That's usually worksheets, comprehension sheets, and then you assign a seat work assignment, usually from the book. Day 3, practice reading something else. You teach skills, and then you assign seat work related to a skill or the story. All right. Then it's on to the next story, and the cycle of life continues. That is generally, and I'm just providing a general overview. This has been part 2. Some of the criticisms and advantages of basals. I want you to have an overview. Part 3 is coming next.